Entry-level mining information, how I'd get a job. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and one of the questions that I often get asked is how would I go about getting a job today? Knowing everything that I know from the last 25 years, where would I look and where wouldn't I look? So that's pretty easy for me to break down, and I'll do that for you in this video. There's two areas that I would look, and there's a couple of areas that I would steer clear from. So first off, let's have a look at the areas that I would definitely be looking, because they meet my fundamental two requirements that if you've watched any of the videos before on the channel, you'll know that you've got to go where the employers are hiring new starters, and then you've got to give them what they want. And for that, it's underground, hard rock underground. And you just have to look through the jobs. There's entry-level stuff around Kalgoorlie. KCA have a partnership program with the sponsor, so they'll look at anybody that's done the sponsor's training. Mintera are looking for trainees. They were looking for trainee truck drivers and nippers last week. It's diamond driller trainees or diamond driller off-sider trainees this week. There's nipper jobs, truck jobs, there's just chop jobs everywhere. And they're all around the country, you just got to have a look. And the same thing goes for exploration. If you're not happy about going hard rock underground, then have a look at exploration. You'll need a HR license for exploration, but there are lots of jobs around as fieldies or off-siders on the surface. So there's lots there. What's driving it all? Well, if we come over to this Facebook post, and ABC Goldfields is really good to follow because they've got their finger on the pulse of what's going around in Kalgoorlie at the moment. And this is just a good example. BHP signed another contract, this time with Toyota, with their Nickel West operations, because it's the lithium-ion batteries that they use in vehicles and that they're going to mount on walls in all the first world countries to take advantage of solar. They need a large amount of nickel and copper to make all that work. And in this article, it says that BHP expects the demand for nickel to grow by 500% over the next decade. And that means lots of new jobs, and that means lots of employment. And you can see here where all the big nickel mines are, and all the big ones are underground, and they're huge. They employ a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons why I'd be heading to look to underground. And here's a look at the copper mines around the country as well. The thing that people don't realise is that an electric car uses 4 times as much copper as a normal car does, and it's the same with everything else. Everything that's doing with this new green smart economy has a lot of copper involved in it. So that's one of the other reasons why I'd be looking at hard rock underground. As well as the gold price, there's lots of activity in gold, as there always is, and lots of people are making money, but the real drive is going to be these batteries that they're going to put everywhere. That's what's really going to drive that over the next 10 to 15 years. And that's why I would be using the sponsors training, either the Intro to Underground Mining. You can do the DIY package. You can use ZipPay as well now. Or if you want some help, you can get somebody like myself to help you with the work ready. It becomes the shift boss's job that gets assigned to you to make sure that you've understood the mining information, help you come up with a plan, interview prep. They redo your resume for you. In effect, they give it, it's giving it your best shot to get in doing something like this. And again, they use Zip for that sort of stuff. But that's the way that I would be going if I wanted to get into the industry. There's a lot on offer all around the country in hard rock underground and exploration. If we have a look at the areas of the industry that I wouldn't be going into, it would be the areas of the industry. If you just type driverless mining trucks into Google, you'll see all the articles come up, and they've been doing this for a long time now. And what you need to understand about driverless trucks, and if we come over to the sponsor's website under their autonomous trucks in mining, they can only be used on strip mines, so where it's really close to the surface. So that's the only areas that you can use it in. Now, the other reason that I would be having a look at or steering clear of iron ore at the moment is that they're having a price readjustment, and that unfortunately has meant that there's been some of the smaller shows that were a bit marginal. They've started to shut up shop and put people out of work. And that's not a good thing. These people will all find jobs in a pit or, hopefully another iron ore mine. But the big thing is that with what's going on with BHP and FMG and Rio in WA and the BMA in Queensland for coal, all their strip mines, they're replacing all those trucks with driverless trucks. And that means that if you're looking to try and get into the industry, then you're getting into an industry where the wages are going to be low. You're going to be probably working from a large call centre type situation in either Perth or Brisbane to use these driverless trucks. And the money's just not going to be in it. And that's one of the big things I know. I harp on it about it at times, but you get into mining to make money, not to just earn $70,000 a year like you could probably get if you did a city job that had good hours with it as well. You're getting into mining to try and make something of yourself and try and put a nest egg behind you and bring yourself up in the world. So with iron ore at the moment, it's really they're looking to scale back. If you're already in the system, it's all well and good, but if you're just jumping on board now, there's only a handful of jobs. And the same thing, coal, there's jobs around with coal at the moment, but they tend to be traineeships, which again, traineeship screams to me wage suppression. But with coal, whenever I talk to people about getting into it, if you live in the coal town and you've got a contact that can help you get in, go for it. But if you're moving to a coal area just on the chance you're wanting to get a job, you really need to understand that, this sort of stuff is becoming more and more often. They're coming for you and they're coming for your job. I don't agree with it, but this article from the ABC is under the science section, and it's all about how we need to not to dig up any more coal, and we need to leave all the coal in the ground that we can as Australia, as responsible citizens. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that at all, but that's the narrative that's going around. So, how secure is your job going to be if you get into the coal mining industry? That's one of the reasons why, I steer people towards hard rock, because you've got a lot of different areas of the industry to look at, but you also have a definite time horizon on the supply. You're not going to be running out of a job for the next 10 to 15 years because of the demand that's going to grow. They are going to put these batteries on every Western house to take advantage of solar and wind. They need storage. And to do that, they are going to have to dig up a massive amount of copper and a massive amount of nickel. There's just no ways around that. And that's going to cause lots of jobs here in Australia, and it means it's going to be lots of opportunity. So that's what I'd do if I was trying to jump into the industry at the moment. You can argue about whether you'd relocate to Kalgoorlie or Perth. There's jobs up in Mount Isa. There's jobs up in Mount Isa and also around Cobar in the centre of New South Wales. Obviously, there's gold mining all over the country. But if you want to get in, then I'd definitely look at doing the sponsors training so you've got a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. And if you still want to go ahead and do it, then you've got all the tools to get yourself a job. And then if you can, head to either Perth or Brisbane or Townsville or Cairns or a mining town. The reason I'm saying Townsville and Cairns is because they're a fly-in fly-out hub, as well as Brisbane and Perth. South Australia, they don't have many underground mines, but they've got a number of large ones, so there's a lot of fly-in fly-out opportunity out of Adelaide, and of course there's a number of mines in the Northern Territory that fly out of Darwin. So there's stuff all over the country, and like I said, you only have to type underground into Seek and you'll see all the jobs come up, and they're desperate. I mean, basically every nipper job and every underground truck job that you see is going to have to be filled with a new starter, just because there aren't enough experienced people to go around. Everybody that's driving a truck at the moment, or everybody that's nippering that's got 6 to 12 months experience, will be looking for a service crew job. And as you can see, there's lots of service crew jobs around, and the whole thing just keeps on feeding in on itself. And this is the fifth boom that I've been in, and I can tell you here and now, the employers keep chasing their tail with new starters until the boom runs out, and I don't think that that's going to be for a very long time at the moment. So like I tell people, make sure that you educate yourself to what you're getting yourself into, know what you're getting yourself into with both eyes, do your study, apply, and chase that job down. I hope that information's helpful, and if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. And if you've got any questions that you want to ask, please send them through. Thanks.